Righty, ladies and gentlemen, it appears that Wuthering Waves is beginning to kick up its marketing for 2.8, and we're finally getting into more and more of the new character reveals. Or in this case, the new character reveal, because Chisa's the only new 5-star limited resonator arriving in the version. And they've got the post-lament Anthropocene stars intertwined breakdown of both Chisa and her lore. And one thing that I've actually enjoyed very often as these new character releases are kicking up is, well, actually finding out a little bit more about them in the story. And with Chisa being one of those characters that we've gotten no exposure to at all prior to 2.8, I think this is going to be a good place for a lot of the community to actually start. So without further ado, let's go ahead. Let's start giving this a bit of a read. All right, so one thing we know about Chisa is that she's very smart. There's a reason why she has so many, like, angles and, like, protractors and, like, measurements and even, like, here and, like, you know, even in the visuals of her kit. Because apparently, yeah, she's a bit of a genius. So let's read about that. Chisa has been a top student from day one. Not that she has ever flaunted her good grades. They say that the copious notes she takes in class are color-coded, annotated, and formatted like an academic paper ready for publication. Yeah, I don't know. She kind of reminds me, like, one of the things that I said across, like, her reveal was that she really reminds me of Zhang Liao. And, well, the comparisons are only growing more and more. They're written in a neat hand, accompanied by occasional geometrical patterns and shapes, casually drawn, but perfectly symmetrical. She also kind of gives me the vibes that she might be, like, a little, you know, she might be built a little differently when it comes to, like, the wiring in her brain. But I don't know, we don't fully know about that one. She just might be a smart cookie. They say, since few have had the good fortune to peek into the contents of that legendary notebook of hers. Oh, so she's also very secretive as well. People will pay good money to see her notebook of notes. Chisa seems to be living in a world of her own, as if she's always deep in thought, and classmates leave her alone for fear of disturbing her. Note to self, I mean, anyone's free to borrow my notebook anytime. Oh, so she's a little bit aloof. She's a little bit standoffish. She's so smart and has achieved so much that people are scared of approaching her. Well, I guess that's why she was so mentally stable after being, I guess, trapped in that Sonarosphere with a capybara for God knows how long. Because that's the framing of the story. She ended up trapped inside of a Sonarosphere for God knows how long after an experiment gone wrong. And this is also the vibe that I'm getting over here. Maybe she's like, I talked about it before, but maybe she is like, maybe she's got like a little bit of the tism. Yeah, right. Maybe she's got a little bit of that neurodivergency going on as well, because this kind of she does seem like one of those like autistic savants, potentially. Maybe like that's how she works. You know, it's like a common thing in like the modern day that some of the smartest people out there that like achieve the most and like make the most progress in certain either scientific or artistic fields, they're like autistic, like because they're savants. Like, their tism can make them really, really, really good at, like, either the research or, like, the art or whatever they're doing. And I don't know, she kind of is giving me those vibes. And believe me when I say this, I'm not trying to be discriminatory over here. I view it as a compliment. I think it's actually a compliment to be considered as an autistic savant. Oh, because that means that, like, you're doing a lot, you know, for being a person. So, yeah. Let's go ahead and take a look at this now. A piece of cake. Chisa's resonance ability allows her to see weaknesses in the form of threads. Okay, so it's a little bit like, I know this is going to be like a little bit weeby, but this actually reminds me of Tanjiro from Demon Slayer. Yeah, that dude like sees like the thread that's like gonna be like the one-shot kill on like whatever demon or whatever opponent he's fighting against, right? So I would assume that Chisa has like a similar sort of thing because she sees like that one thread that's like critical to cut. Yeah. But it also comes handy in everyday life. She can pinpoint a faulty wire in a beat-up electrical appliance in a second. And more importantly, she can slice a strawberry cake into identical Okay, no, this is autistic. I'm sorry. Nah, her resonance ability is super autism. Nah, bro. Nah. You can't be... Nah, okay. That's what it is. Nah, you can't be telling me shit about how she can slice a strawberry cake into identical wedges, each with the same amount of cream and the same number of strawberries on top. That's autistic, bro. I'm sorry. She is, but she's a savant. Yeah, I don't need to. I think that's the conclusion that most people came to after reading this one. Not unlike solving a geometry problem. If you look at cake And the first connection your brain makes is, this is a geometry problem. I've got news for you. I've got news for you, my friend. It's a harmless idiosyncrasy, charming even. She simply wants to be fair when sharing a tea time cake. I mean, she's got good intentions. She's got good intentions. Note to self, I aim for efficiency. My resonance ability is beside the point. No, I think your resonance ability is shaped by your autism. I'm just being honest over here. It kind of makes sense, right? People's resonance abilities are typically oftentimes based around their personality or like their traits. It is what it is. A sleuth. Okay. Besides her studies, nothing interests Chisa more than honkaku detective fiction, especially the kind that requires her to take notes to untangle the web of relationships between characters and make sense of the non-linear timeline and analyze subtle clues that are easy to miss. Did you all know that Sherlock Holmes was also autistic? Just something I wanted to say. For a time, she took a strong interest in suspense movies and TV series. As she watched the plot unfold, she would press pause from time to time and stare at the screen. Her brain running at full speed as she tried to deduce what was going to happen or who committed the crime. It just keeps going, bro. It just keeps going. It doesn't stop. Note to self, I'm not spoiling the plot. I'm trying to see if my deductions are on point. Just watch the fucking movie. Bro, I feel like you'd get pissed off trying to watch movies with her. She's like, pause. I need to look at my notes. Relax for a second there. We're at the halfway point. I need to look at my notes. All right. Let's keep reading. Cat magnet. There is something about Chisa that runs contrary to her fastidiousness. That's a hard word to pronounce. Fastidiousness and analytical mind. Cats love her. Chisa has never owned a cat, but cats are drawn to her. Whether it's a stray running itself on the street corner or a friend's pet that turns its nose at strangers, they all come plodding to her, rubbing themselves against her legs, sitting in her shadow, and even falling asleep at her side. Note to self, it's fallen asleep. And what better way to prove that than have the fucking... Oh my lord, what the fuck is that? Hold up there. Oh my god. This is the convene animation. You're a cat. You're a cat. Look at this. Yeah, you're a cat in her convene animation. You transform into one. Hey, more accurate. Now, the interesting part. We've got her resonance evaluation report. How much in danger is she of things like overclocking, doing all of that? She seems to have a relatively stable mind and a good amount of control and precision, so I would assume probably not. But let's read it. Subject, Chisa Kuchiba. Resonator type, mutant. Tacit mark, location, right upper arm. Testing agency, Ashinohara? Neo Honami? What the fuck is that? Hey, are we going there? Hey, who knows? Testing indicates the subject possesses an extraordinary cognitive ability to intuitively discern the structure, form, and movement of observed objects. While employing her forte, she can analyze objects' weaknesses through her vision and apply precise interference to induce structural destruction. Damn, that's a fucking badass way of saying that she just, like, cut shit. Notes, subject recounts perceiving threads that cause objects to unravel. Preliminary analysis suggests these threads are not actual entities, but visual manifestations exclusive to her vision. You can just say what they are. They're hallucinations. Yeah, you can just say what they are. They're hallucinations that happen to help her in combat. Overclock diagnostic report. The subject's forte exhibits extensibility and growth potential beyond safety thresholds. Oh. Under extreme conditions, she may be capable of analyzing abstract spatial structures, identifying the threads of anomalies within anomalous spaces, and inducing reality distortion events, including... Oh, I see. So she's actually going to be the reason why Honami City is stuck. That's what I'm thinking. She probably fucked up, overclocked a little bit, and then caused the entire disaster. That's already what I'm thinking over here, because this is basically saying she has the ability to, like, cut through time. I don't know how else I would talk about threads of anomalies within anomalous spaces. She can probably cut her way into the future or like cut her way into the past. That's what it seems like over here, because this is one of the most vague things I've ever seen. This is vague as shit. So yeah, this makes me think that she can literally cut space. And we've also gotten like a bit of exposure to the fact that she's made a hideout in Honami City by cutting through space. So I think that she can actually cut way more than that, and she's probably the main reason for why 2.8 is even happening in the first place. So that's good to know. I guess we're going to have an Avengers Assemble scene in the future where Chisa just takes her gigantic fucking scissors, cuts a portal through like the goddamn dimensions, and then like summons some buddies to go help in the 3.x story arc. That's what I assume is going to happen. I also wouldn't be surprised if Chisa ends up joining the Black Shores. That seems like something that would make a good bit of sense as well, because her power does seem like very Black Shoresy. If that makes sense, it seems like her power would be a high priority for that organization to try to add to their team. It sounds a little broken. All right. Current anomalous indicators. Multiple steep fluctuations detected in her Ray-Bell's curve, with peak values approaching the critical limit. Forte stability remains weak, presenting a measurable risk of overclocking. I see. I think that's another big clue. I think Chisa did everything. I think it's all her fault. And I think we're going to find out across the multiple story quests that they're going to be in 2.8 that it was all her fucking fault all along. She might relate to the collab where she cuts through dimensions. That's probably what's going to happen too. She's probably going to find some sort of way to like cut through the dimensions into the Cyberpunk universe, or cut through the dimensions to bring the Cyberpunk people into our universe. Yeah, no, that's what it is. That has to be what it is. She kind of reminds me of, and if you're familiar with the Witcher series, she reminds me of Ciri. And that's a character that just travels through dimensions and shit. Ciri actually ends up in the Cyberpunk universe. Hey, it would be crazy if Ciri showed up in this collab. Wait, that would be sick if, like, Chisa ends up, like, in, like, the fucking universe stream. She, like, looks over and then sees The Witcher 4 and is just like, what the fuck? And then goes to the Cyberpunk universe. That would be sick. All right, but yeah, that's just some hype stuff to keep in mind. Preliminary monitoring measures. The subject is required to wear a collar-type resonator suppression device to regulate her forte and is placed on the observation list of high-risk resonators. Holy shit, she has a shock collar. Oh, shit. Place! Chisa, place! Shit, she's going into another dimension. Quick, turn it on! Relevant monitoring agencies are instructed to maintain updated records with central authorities regarding the subject's forte changes and real-time location. If deemed necessary, compulsory measures may be taken in accordance... Wait, she literally has a shock collar. Wait, that's... Compulsory measures may be taken in accordance with law? I'm pretty sure that collar has a shock feature. Hey, Kuro, I can't believe they put a Hassan reference in the Chisa profile reveal. That's crazy, bro. Hey, hats off to Kuro Games for that one. All right, now we got the lore reveal. We found out that, yes, she's probably going to be the person that triggers the Cyberpunk collab. Now, I guess, let's read a little bit more about her. Expressionless face. Oh, yep, we're going back to the tism here. Chisa wears neutral expressions and likes to do things at her own pace, but her dispassionate features are never off-putting because her red pupils are full of life, always alert and analytical. Okay, so that's why she has resting bitch face. Good to know. School uniform. Chisa wears a black school uniform, complete with loose-fitting long-sleeve coat and a red neck scarf. This is an old Star Torch Academy uniform. Okay, so she is hag-maxing. Okay, so that's what it is, ladies and gentlemen. Chisa's actually fucking old, but she's deciding to wear an older uniform. Yeah, no, she is hag-maxing for sure. My take has been, she's actually been trapped in Honami City for a long fucking time. And this was probably the outfit that she wore when she first entered. It's just, she's just been wearing it ever since. I genuinely think she might be, like, in a time paradox, and she could be, like, 70 years old. She kind of gives that vibe. Black hair and red ribbon. Why does she look like a fucking... She does not look like she's in Wuthering Waves in this photo. Chisa's hair, shiny and black, runs down to her waist and is festooned by a long red ribbon at her right temple. The red ribbon, some say, is a symbol of her wish to connect with others and her desire to protect them. That's, proof. Anecdotes. Cherished item. Old-style scissors. I bet it is. Chisa's favorite food, chocolate bars. A former classmate gave me one once and said something like, keep frowning like that and your blood sugar's gonna crash. Okay, she literally has resting bitch face so bad that people felt the need to give her food. That's crazy. Chisa story. The day they put this collar on me, it started to rain in my hometown. I watched the downpour and the rolling storm clouds through the window, and oddly enough, I felt a sense of relief. My residence ability had been restrained, and I told myself, now they won't hate you anymore. Oh, okay. That's a little bit interesting. So, now I think I know what happened. She overclocked, her residence ability went crazy, and then she created the whole Hanami City situation. That's literally what it is. Her collar didn't work, and then she created the Hanami City situation and ended up there. I see. I see. And thoughts. I'm not good with faces. When I was little, people always said I got stuck on the details, but ever since faces started blurring in front of me, I've had to rely on that instead. Oh yeah, no, she definitely got something going on. No, that is 100% the tism. Oh, that is 100% the tism. This reminds me of like one of those you guys know like the Apothecary Diaries, that anime? Yeah, this reminds me of like Mao Mao's dad. Mao Mao's dad, Lacan, yeah, that guy is super autistic. And he also has like that whole face thing going on where he can't distinguish between people, or like he can't like discern between faces and shit like that. And he's super autistic, like giga. But guess what? He's also the commander of their military. He's another one of those autistic savants. He's super good at like strategy and like battlefields and shit like that. But yeah, he's a bit of a fuck IRL. Yeah. I'm not, oh, just, yeah, so yeah, the whole thing with the faces. In this scenario, death is only temporary. Those who disappear always show up again like nothing happened, so I take notes. The gray stain on the shopkeeper's sleeve across the road, the shape of the clerk's hair clip in the convenience store. That way, even if the faces blur, I still know who they are. I bet she's gonna have one of those, like, tender moments with Rober, where she's gonna be like, yours is one of the only faces I can remember. Everybody else is like a blur. I do think that's something that's going to happen. Yeah, I can already see that one coming. All right. Now we got some of her animations. Okay, she's got her little kick spin. This thing turns into a chainsaw. Yeah, very neat. Very cool. What else she got going on over here? Oh, she just sitting down. Oh, the cat shows up. I'm not gonna lie. The graphics look a little weird. The graphics look like a little bit weird. The cat looks like a little bit fucked up. Okay, then we got the convene animation. Yep, everyone's gooning over there. I would say her on-field kit and stuff like that, it's neat, but it's also something that I feel like a lot of the previous kits that have been released, their animations do look a decent bit more exciting. Like, I'm comparing Chu-Yan to her. I think Chu-Yan's kit just seems a little bit more cool, but maybe that's just me. But, yeah, that's gonna be the entire Chisa reveal. I know we skipped some parts, but, like, I didn't really feel like hearing about her old scissors. But, yeah, I think we've gotten a lot of clues about this unit, and I think we've gotten a lot of clues about what's going on in version 2.8. I think Chisa is the cause of everything. I think she's the reason why that scenario's trapped. I think she's going to be the way that they escape the scenario as well. And I also think that she's going to be the harbinger, not of the Dark Tide, not of the Thermodian. She's going to be the harbinger of the Cyberpunk collab. Because what other way than somebody who's able to cut through dimensions, which she can 100% do, what other way to start off the collab other than with her? And so, yeah, I'm excited to see what type of role she plays. I'm wondering if she's going to be more than just like a plot device to make other things happen. If that's the role that she plays, it is what it is. But I am interested in seeing what her interactions with, well, the playable cast is going to be like, because from all the stuff that we've been reading in here, she's wired a little bit differently in the head. So her interactions might seem very, very, very unique. And I'm looking forward to seeing how those flesh out. So, yeah, that's gonna be that for this one, ladies and gentlemen. The Chisa lore breakdown. And I'm not disappointed at all. I think that was actually a great one to see. So, yeah, that'll be that for this one. Let me know what you all thought. Peace out.